What's up guys, Sleepygamer here, and today we are going to be talking about the awfulness that is online DRM. Now, currently on in the background is Doom, well not Doom 3, just Doom multiplayer. I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's pretty fun. A lot of people don't like it. I enjoy it. It's a fun little fast-paced multiplayer shooter. Now, on with the topic of DRM. Now, if a lot of you guys don't know, DRM it pretty much means that a game or service is not available if you don't have a solid internet connection. So there were issues with things like SimCity, where the game would just close because you lost connection for a few seconds. And over here in Australia, I, along with a lot of other people I knew, had the same problem with Destiny on the previous generation. I don't know about next gen, I'm not getting it for next gen. But on previous generations, Destiny also had the problem of you always needed to be online, and if you so much as lost connection for half a second, you would just get booted from the entire thing. Now, the main issue with this is not everyone has a solid internet connection. Now, I'm probably lucky for an Australian over here, and that would be unlucky for an American. America has very good internet compared to Australian internet. Like, I don't know the exact speed of my internet over here, but let's just say that for just one of my videos it can take upwards of 3 hours to upload. And that's just upload, and then there's like half an hour of processing. And I don't know if that's just a crappy computer, but it takes a while. And it's not that enjoyable. And also, you'll probably see in the gameplay footage going on, where I'm currently the Prowler, the enemies seem to lag a little bit every now and again, which happens because of Australian shitty internet. And now that I've gotten better from my pneumonia, not my broken rib yet though, I've started uploading again, so my internet's going to be even slower than it normally is. Which is not something I particularly want. I want to be able to provide a good amount of videos without also destroying my family's internet, because I also have two sisters, a mother and a father. A mother of which is currently doing a university course, and my sister also watches lots of YouTube. And I'm going off on a side tangent here, never mind. But on always online DRM. Besides the fact that not everyone has perfect internet connection, it's kind of a scummy move by companies. Because if you guys don't know, the main reason companies do it isn't just because they enjoy seeing us in awkward misery. It isn't that they get off to seeing us in annoyance. No, it's because companies such as like EA think that there are a lot of pirates out there, which there are always going to be pirates out there, but because of always online DRM, it makes it so if you don't have an online connection, it assumes you're a pirate, so you can't play the game. So unlike stuff with Destiny, I'm not so much sure it's because of that, even though it has an always online requirement, but I know for a fact SimCity had it because of they were worried about piracy issues. The only problem is, because of it, it caused the game to barely run when people first got it. Same with things like Diablo 3, where the always online connection that's needed meant that you couldn't play the games that you paid upwards of $100 for. Like, I know, what's one game? I'm trying to think of. I haven't personally had any games that have been like this that have been $100, though I can think of a number that have had issues due to the always online connection. I forgot which, but there have been games, I think stuff like, I forgot the name of it. Just never mind about that. But let's just say that it's not pleasant to be in the middle of a good game and suddenly, boom, you lost connection. It didn't save half the stuff you put time and effort into. Because one thing that makes me just want to stop playing a game is having hours and hours of progress wasted. Like, that's a big thing for me. I played The Witcher 3, and I loved that game. The Witcher 3 was so fun. But after playing, like, about 5 hours one day, my save corrupted, or something along those lines. So, it put me all the way back to before I played that day. I just couldn't bring myself to playing through all I did before, because it was just so tedious that sometimes I just couldn't be asked playing. Same with, I'm going on a side tangent here again. But anyway, a lot of the time, always online DRM fails because it always requires a solid internet connection that not everyone can secure properly. Most people in Australia, I know, can't get a solid internet connection. From I know in places like the UK, in some places you just can't get internet connection at all. Like, if you guys might think, oh, I'm over exaggerating when I talk about how bad Australian internet connection is. I'm not joking when I say that with some, like, companies, you don't have any coverage at all in certain places. Like, there's a place called Rosebud. We stay down there every now and again with some family friends of ours. They have a very nice house, and it's not like it's in the middle of nowhere. No, it's quite in the middle of a kind of Rosebud. They don't get any internet connection or phone coverage at all, so not everyone can secure phone or internet access securely. Which, if someone didn't know about the always online DRM component, they bought it. If a grandfather or grandmother or someone who doesn't know much about games bought the game for them, they're going to be like, oh my god, I can't wait to play this new game. What's it called? Oh, it's called SimCity. I love those city building games. I'm going to go play it on Christmas or my birthday. They go home, they can play it, boom, they can't play it because they don't have internet connection. And now, $100 game, oh no, they can't play it. And because it was given as a gift, they can't really give it back. So, those who can give it back, you're lucky. But then there are other people who just can't give games back because either someone bought it from them and they don't want to be mean and say, hey, can I have a receipt for it? And with PC games, once you've used the key code, you can't actually sell it again because you need that key code. Unlike console games where you can easily lend a game to a friend. Not so much on PC. Anyway, always online DRM. Xbox One tried to have their console always online DRM. Now, I have an Xbox 360. It's currently packed away in my cupboard because I just don't have enough HDMI ports on my TV. But, yeah, I put it away, and I played my 360 almost all the time. It was pretty much the only console I had. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the 360. I don't care about how good the PS3 is or PC Master Race. I enjoyed the Xbox 360, and because I enjoyed it, that's all I need. I might have had more fun on the PlayStation 3, but I only had the Xbox 360. And when I heard about the Xbox One, I was like, oh, cool, that's exciting. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a job in a few months. And I did get a job. I work at a nice hospital. And once I got the money, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this when it comes out. And then I heard rumors about, oh, Microsoft wants to try to put always online DRM onto the Xbox One, meaning the console needs to log in every so often to the Microsoft servers if you want any chance to play anything on the console. And the problem is, at the time, I had even worse internet than I have now. It was awful. Like, every now and again, I just couldn't. I had to reset everything to do with my internet just to connect on the 360. So I couldn't be sure problems weren't going to happen on the Xbox One. So that almost put me off entirely of the Xbox One, and I was planning on getting a PlayStation 4. But because everyone started whining, well, not whining, it wasn't whinging. No, it was actual real criticism of the always online thing. Because of that, Microsoft had to step back, had to take their word back and say, okay, it's not going to be always online, which is a good thing. We need to talk about this kind of shady shit that's going on in the gaming industry. Because if people don't talk about it, it's just going to keep happening over and over again. And they're not going to stop on their own. EA, Ubisoft, Activision, all those companies, they don't give a shit about you guys. Like, at all. That's one thing a lot of people need to realize. Nintendo, oh, you might like their games. They don't give two shits about you. Activision, yeah, they might make a game you enjoy every now and again. Same with Ubisoft. Like, I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They couldn't give two shits about me if I didn't have money to buy their games. And because of it, they want to make sure everyone buys the game. They put anti-piracy measures in that hurts people who actually pay for the game, so they get even more money when people are going to buy it anyway, and now they can't play the game they actually bought, so they're going to obviously criticize it. Like, there are some people who, if they hear a game has always online DRM, they refuse to buy it. They won't buy it at all. So there are people boycotting so many games because of this really, really shady practice. Well, not really shady, it's just a kind of arsehole move. Like, seriously, arsehole move. If I give you $100 and bought a game, or let's just say, I went to your cafe, I gave you $10, that's for a hot chocolate. It's expensive for a hot chocolate, I know, it's just an example. I gave you $10, ordered a hot chocolate. You want to make sure I actually paid for that hot chocolate, even though I paid for it, that you make me sign 100 legal documents to make sure that I was the one who actually bought it. And by the time I've signed it, the hot chocolate has gone cold and just unpleasant. Like, there's that yicky, disgusting milk skin on the top. And I don't want it anymore because I've just spent so much time actually getting it that no matter what it is, I'm just not going to enjoy it. Same thing with games. You wait so long to fucking fix the thing with the always online, or just waiting for servers to properly load, that by the time it's actually on, you're so disappointed because it's just, you put so much effort into it and it's nothing like what you expected. And another problem with always online DRM is the companies that do it, they need their servers to actually be running properly. A lot of companies do always online DRM, but they don't take into account that, hey, there are going to be a lot of people who want our game. A lot of people who are going to try to play it at once the day it comes out. So it won't load. Like in the case of Diablo 3, it took like days for anyone to be able to play it just because of the always online DRM was so messed up. It made it so people who pre-ordered the game or bought it on day one or day two even couldn't play it because they just the servers weren't up. Like they couldn't handle the influx of the amount of people who wanted to play the game. And because of that, so many people like boycotted Diablo 3 and gave it negative reviews on review sites and Steam and stuff like that, all because that company just wanted to make sure they had a little extra money, to make sure no pirate got the game. They need to suck it up. Pirates are going to get your game no matter what. And if you're going to go out of your way to make it so players can't easily access your games, obviously they're going to pirate it. Like, the reason so many people pirated music originally was because they had to go out and buy a disc and put a disc into a DVD player and listen it to like that. And if they wanted to listen to it on their iPod or another media device, they would have to burn it down onto the device. Or they could just pirate it and just download it directly to their device. That's why when like iTunes came out, I was like, hey, I can literally pay $1 to get the game. Not the game, the music, and just put it directly on my phone. Same thing with shit like Netflix. People will pay for convenience. Or they won't pay for convenience if it's an option to them. If someone wants a game, like let's just say, I really want Fallout 4, but it turns out, oh no, always online DRM. There's going to be, every hour, the game's going to, like, fail because the internet connection failed. Or, I could pirate the game, I would feel a little shitty about doing it because, hey, I really enjoyed the game. I wanted to give money to them, but because of the shadiest shit practices, I just I can't buy it normally because I won't be able to play it normally. So the problem is, by doing the thing which is like guilty until proven innocent, no one's gonna really want to buy your games normally. They would happily drop like an extra $1 or so to get the game illegally, even if it's $1 over the normal price, just so they don't constantly have it crash and shit. That's why when it turned out SimCity had an option that you could actually make it so it wasn't always online and you could actually play it by yourself, people actually were like, oh wow, this game, that pretty much negated most of the problems that people had with the game, besides tiny map limits and shit like that. But one of the biggest problems was, hey, the always online DRM makes it so we can't fucking play our game. Online DRM is a problem that really, really needs to be dealt with. It's something that it just, I can't wrap my head around why game companies think it's such a good idea to keep doing it in like today's industry of gaming. Yeah, there are going to be pirates. So the fuck what? There are pirates for everything. You're going to see people, like, there's YouTube Red, and there's going to be things you can buy, like episodes and shit you can buy of stuff like Scare PewDiePie. But the thing about that is, there are still going to be people who pirate that just because they're cheapskates. They don't want to pay for it. If they can pay for it, and it's no hassle to pay for it, they will pay for it to get it. No problem about that. But if you're going to go out of your way to, like, be hostile to your customer base, they're not going to buy it. Like, there are TV shows and stuff that, like, I personally kind of have to pirate because it's just almost impossible to get it in any other way over here. Like, especially in Australia, oh my god. You know how hard it is to just buy shit online? Like, let's just say I want to buy an episode of something like Supernatural. I would happily pay for it. I enjoy Supernatural, and even though it's on Netflix, I can watch it whenever I like. But anyway, let's just say it wasn't on Netflix, and I wanted to watch Supernatural. Pretty much half the shows you guys got in America, I can't access on iTunes because Australia laws and shit are fucking stupid. So I would pirate Supernatural if it was the only way I could do it. Even though I love the show and I support them anyway. I pay for Netflix, which I don't know how much money goes to the Supernatural people, but I would like to think that they get paid for my viewership of their show. Even if it's like barely a cent, I would like to think that I am supporting them. They get money for my viewership. But there are going to be pirators. Everyone will pirate at some point. Mainly because the convenience of pirating is more than supporting the actual creators of the thing. That's why you see shit like Origin and the other one, Ubisoft's one. I forgot the name of Ubisoft's weird installer thing. where they are so hostile to their customers that they're like, "Ooh, it's our special thing. You don't get any say in what we do about it." That no one wants to play them or like it or anything like that. Like, no one likes Origin at all. No one's like, "Yeah, hey man, add me on Origin. It's really cool." It's a fucking hassle, especially on console. You know how much I want to avoid using the fucking analog sticks to type in a message or some other crap like that? Imagine typing in a whole registration thing. I want nothing to do with that. Anyway, I'm gonna sum it up because I'm running out of Doom footage right now. But I'm gonna sum it up. Companies that use always online DRM. Your customers will pay for convenience. If you make it easy for them to buy your game and play your game, they will pay for your game. You go out of your way to stop everyone from playing your game until they prove they're not a pirate. No one's going to want to bother to buy your game. Okay? I'd like to think the whole 2 views I'm going to get from this, maybe one of them is a company that uses always online DRM, because Jesus fucking Christ, how dumb do you have to be?